Today we're going to learn a little bit of Spanish if you don't know Spanish, or if you do, maybe this will give you a laugh, because around this house we speak Spanglish. That is the official language of our household. The two languages tend to get combined a lot. And today I'm going to teach some Spanish phrases that I just am always using because they're either more fun to say or they convey the meaning better. Maybe they're simpler, shorter, or some of them are just more precise. They have a more precise meaning, and it's easier to just say the one word than a whole phrase in English. But anyways, these are some words I can't stop using. Maybe you'll learn a new word today if you don't speak Spanish. Let's get started. The first word is ya. Ya. This should be the last word. Ya, terminamos. But this is a word that technically means already. Like, did you already do that? Ya hiciste eso? But it can have so much more meaning than that, and you can use it a lot. For example, if someone's explaining something to you and you're like, oh, yeah, I get the point already, yeah, then you can just say, yeah. It's very easy to use, and yeah, we finished talking about it. This is a great word, except when someone comes up to you and grabs your stomach and says, yeah. No, I'm not having babies yet. With that one word, I understood what she meant. Like, oh, you think I'm gonna have a baby? No. And that's when you use this next phrase, which is called no estoy en eso. This phrase would be estar en eso. This would be like, I'm not working on that. I'm not focused on that. I'm not really about that right now. And you can use it for something you're doing right now, currently. Like, oh, he estado en eso el día entero. Like, I've been working on this all day. Or you can just use it for like your phase of life. Like if you're a single person, you're not really looking to get married or anything like that, you could say, someone asks you like, oh, when are you gonna get married? Like, yo no estoy en eso. Like, I'm not interested in that. I'm not searching that out. So that's a helpful phrase to use for that. No estoy en eso. Oh, like estoy en eso if you are in that. Next, we're gonna go through some other verbs that are pretty precise with their meaning, or they can just encompass more meanings than their counterpart in English. For example, the first word is aprovechar. Aprovechar means to take advantage of. So, for example, if you are out running errands, you're like, oh, let me aprovechar that I'm out, but you don't have to say all that. I don't even know what language I'm speaking right now. But aprovechar is like, okay, while I'm out, let me just take advantage of the fact that I'm out and go somewhere else. But you don't have to say all that in English, because you can just say, oh, vamos a aprovechar, yeah. And then you can just know what you're talking about. Or if you're with your family, you can say, vamos a aprovechar que estamos juntos. Let's take advantage of the fact that we're together. It's just more wordy in English, and I find it a lot simpler using aprovechar. The next word is tender. So this is a word that we use when we go to hang clothes on the clothesline. Tell me why I can't think of a more precise phrase in English for that. Like, yes, it's to hang up clothes, but not just hanging them on the hangers, but going out and hanging them up on the clothesline to dry. That's tender. Yeah, voy a tender. What's really great for this verb is that you don't even have to say an object. Like, you don't have to say, I'm hanging up the clothes. Because if you just say, I'm hanging up, that doesn't make sense in English. So with this one, you just say the verb. You don't have to add the subject. You don't have to say, voy a tender la ropa. You can just say, voy a tender. I'm gonna hang up the clothes. But yeah, in English, you really need the clothes in the sentence to understand. But with this verb, you can just use it. Yeah. How many times I say yeah in this video? The next one is similar because you also don't need an object for this verb. And the verb is fregar. So this means to wash dishes, which learning Spanish in school, I always learned as lavar platos. But you don't have to say that. You can just say fregar. Voy a fregar. I'm going to go wash the dishes. See, that's so much easier in Spanish. ¿Ya fregaste? Did you already wash the dishes? Tender, fregar. They're a lot simpler because it encompasses the object. You know what they're talking about without having to say the object, like clothes or dishes. The next word is acostumbrar. Like, that means to get used to get accustomed to something. I don't know why. I just find those phrases really uncomfortable in English. I'm already accustomed to this. It sounds like trying to be very formal, but this one's just like, ya me acostumbré a la vida aquí. I got used to living here. It's not like it's that much easier to say, it's just simpler, for me at least. The next two verbs are mejorar y peorar. So mejorar means to get better, and it's easy to remember because mejor is better. Yeah, like I'm better. Estoy mejor. So mejorar is to get better. And peorar comes from peor, which is worse. So peorar, to get worse. Getting better and worsen, or better can also be a verb, but we don't use it that much. So that's why I like these verbs, like, ¿cómo te sientes? ¿Estás mejorando? ¿Peorando? Like, are you getting better or worse? Just feels more to the point with these verbs in Spanish. The last few words on this list are just kind of random, to be honest. But I just find that I like them more. That's all, really. The next one is cuñada or cuñado, if it's a male. And just tell me why this word is just so much... It's more endearing than sister-in-law or brother-in-law. Cuñada, cuñado. I just like it so much better. It's so much cuter. It's so much more, like, friendly, I feel like. And not as, like, oh, you're my sister-in-law. Like, that doesn't evoke any endearment to me. But cuñada, like, when my cuñados call me cuñada, I'm like, oh, cuñada. I don't know why, I just like it. It's so much better than sister-in-law. And in Spanish, they have a lot more direct words for in-laws. Today I learned nuera. Suegro is father-in-law. Suegra, mother-in-law. You don't have to always add in-law. But what I'm trying to say, them as a group, I don't know what to say in Spanish. It's easier to say, like, the in-laws. That part, if you're trying to talk about multiple levels, not just cuñados, or not just your suegro. It's easier to just say in-laws, but I do like cuñada. Another word, if someone's leaving or you're parting ways, you could say vaya bien or vaya con Dios. You would say, like, safe travels or, like, with God. Like, it just doesn't hit the same in English as it does in Spanish. Vaya bien, like, go well is literally what it would mean. Or vaya con Dios, go with God. But we don't really say that in English. We just say, like, safe travels, safe flight, safe driving. So it's not the same. This is more like be well, like as you go, or go with God. I don't know. It just feels better to say than safe travels. Your next couple are just phrases like exclamations, and I use these a lot. Dios mío, ay mi madre. Those are phrases like, oh my goodness. It's just evokes the feeling better than, oh my gosh, my goodness. I just like them better in Spanish. The next phrase, if you've watched a few of my videos, you might have heard me say this before, and the word is bobo. This word is fun. I just like it. Bobo. Darn. And yeah, you can use it for something bad or unfortunate that happens, or like, oh, que bobo. Like, what an inconvenience. It's just... And I've said this before on this channel, I don't remember in what video, but it helps me remember to take things easy. When you say the word bobo, like, how do you not laugh a little? Like, it sounds a little bit silly. And it helps me to remember, okay, it's just another thing just happening in life. I don't have to stress too much about it. Bobo. This last one is just like a bonus. It's not the actual translation for this word. It's just something I say because I started calling it this when I was living in this apartment alone before we got married. And whenever I would see a little lizard somewhere, I started calling them amiguitos. So that's what I call them now. I just call them amiguitos, which means little friend. And that is just the first word that comes to my mind. Always, amiguito. It's an amiguito. Anyways, that's a bonus. You shouldn't call them that. You should call them the right word. But that's just a word that I use a lot because it's the first thing that comes to my mind. So that's my list of Spanish words I just can't stop saying, even if I'm trying to speak in English. So I hope you enjoyed. Maybe you learned a new Spanish word. Let me know if you learned a new word today, or if you speak either one of these languages, Spanish or English. What are words that you tend to like mix up and speak Spanglish with? I would be curious to know. So let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.